Hello, Geminis. So today I am going to be doing the September second half Gemini readings. And let's go ahead and get started with the Animal Oracle. Wow, extra, but okay. So we've got the unicorn, the dragon. Wow, a lot of cosmic animals today. And it looks like the one that shot out was the panther. All right, let's see what's up. Unicorn, reconnecting to higher wisdom or divinity. It's difficult to see, hear, or think of a unicorn without immediately questioning if it's real. Did they ever exist? Perhaps long, long ago? The mind answers maybe, or it could be, or no way. This very contemplation explains our relationship with divinity and encapsulates our wavering belief in the unicorn. We wonder what divinity is. We wonder where our intuition comes from and if we can really trust it. We think about a higher power and our mind hesitates between yes, no, and maybe. Is it male or female? Does it have a name? Is it just a feeling? The unicorn card appears and wakes us up to curiosity about the higher self and the divine. It is a card of questioning, exploring, and contemplating the inexplicable. The mind's eye knows there is something beyond our day to day lives, a deeper dimension to our experiences. The mind's eye reaches and reaches and reaches out to grasp something more. You are the unicorn, and you have begun your quest for the answers. Annihilation of the unnecessary, purging. The panther won't stand to see our growth or energy stagnate. Instead, it pounces into our lives and causes all kinds of havoc, with the ultimate intention of bringing us toward more fulfilling lives. It's unexpected, uncomfortable, and sometimes feels devastating. But after all the dust clears, it's easy to see the panther's wisdom at work. We've all been through these experiences and they've made us better people. Trust that the panther's journey always leads to a brighter place. When in balance, brave, productive. When out of balance, self destructive. To bring into balance, get rid of the unnecessary. Dragon. Seeing one's most true self, balancing the ego. The dragon sees everything. Its essence has been with us before our first breath and will be there at our last. It watches us navigate the external world as well as our inner world. When dragon energy is awakened, we are courageous, visionary, and can easily drop into witness consciousness. It is almost as if we are traveling with a great friend inside of ourselves. When we look in the mirror deep into our eyes, we may even glimpse the self behind the self, the one who is watching us. This is the power of the dragon breathing transformative fire into every cell of our bodies. Witnessing this omnipotent energy, even for a brief moment, helps us surrender and let go. We let the dragon guide us. Sorry, this little guy is tickling me. Okay. We let the dragon guide us. We hop on its back for a ride, and as we traverse even the most difficult terrain, the dragon's eyes see beauty everywhere. It is said that if a yogi does not see beauty in the world, their Agni is dim. Agni described as inner fire or sacred intelligence. May even just the mention of the dragon stir the embers of intelligence within you. This to me, Gemini, feels like you've been feeling a little disconnected lately. It feels like you've been feeling a little too pulled into what's going on in your life to really notice much of what's going on inside of you. It feels like you've already reached a certain level of the mystical, but you've been feeling out of touch with your own magic because all of those just felt like, uh, hey, I'm still here was kind of the vibe that I was getting. All right, let's see. Gemini love. There's one. Son of Pentacles. Empress wanted to tumble out two. And then we've got Judgment. Nope, I'm not taking half the deck. Two of Pentacles, the Hermit. Daughter of Swords. Ace of Cups. Son of Wands. Eight of Cups. Ah, the Tower and the Lovers. Hoy, Gemini. Tower goes here. Eight of Cups goes here. Son of Pentacles goes here. Hermit goes over here. Daughter of Swords, you go over here. Two of Pentacles over here. Judgment over here. As well as the Ace of Cups over here. The Lovers, the Empress. Son of Wands over here. Gemini, it feels like there was a tower moment in your relationship that caused you to have to walk away. Son of Pentacles and the Hermit tells me that after this happened, you went through a period of time isolating, regrounding. It feels like you were trying to find yourself again. Because losing a relationship, no matter how long or short lived, it's a very impactful event. Even if it was just a glimmer of a relationship, it can be somewhat destabilizing. Because we can be on our own for the longest time and be totally fine. We can do all the work that we want. We can be as chill as we want. And after a long period being that way, operating that way, we get into a rhythm. We have our friendships, we have our hobbies, we have a full life. When you spend a lot of time single, you start to develop your own rhythm. And then someone else comes in to the picture. And that changes things a little. And it kind of depends on how steady your rhythm was. That determines how much impact they have on your life. For example, if you're someone that hadn't established a rhythm yet, someone else comes in and they become the whole song. They become your reason for waking. They become the hand you want to hold when you drift off to sleep. They become your entire world. If you have a steady rhythm, they add a little more percussion. They add a melody. They make it better. And together, you form a song. If you have too rigid of a rhythm, there's no room for them to come in and play with you. It's a very delicate balance. But either way, wherever you're at, someone coming into your life and touching such an intimate part of you, it does make its impact. Because there are parts of us that don't get triggered anywhere else but in a relationship. I myself, I tend to be a happy go lucky person. I'm kind of a whatever happens, happens kind of person. But in relationships, I find a lot of the time they end up triggering my anxiety, my abandonment wounds. And I try to keep myself stable so much that I have a hard time recognizing it when it's the other person that's destabilizing me and not just a matter of me needing to change my mindset. I'm starting to realize that triggers get triggered usually because something is up, whether it be inside of me or the other person. But I didn't realize that I had to learn to distinguish which is which until I was in a position where I was trying to let someone into my life. And I have a feeling that I'm talking about this because I have a feeling that that's exactly what you went through. There was a part of yourself that you hadn't seen in a long, long time. And it caused a little bit of a shake up for you. So you spent a long time focused on grounding again, refocusing on yourself, trying to remember what your old routines were because they seem to be deeply ingrained into your life at this point, and you were preparing for loss. But then the Daughter of Swords comes in, the Ace of Cups comes in, offered by the Son of Wands, and you teeter tottered. I can almost hear it. I was already going through the process of healing from you. I was already healing from you. And then you made a decision. But though you've made that decision, you're still in the process of healing from them. I say that because both the Lovers and the Empress is here as kind of an outlier, underlying, overarching energy. What this feels like is, though you may have taken them back, there's a part of you in the back of your mind that's still thinking about this Son of Pentacles Hermit, that period of time that you spent trying to regain your footing, stand on your own again. And now you're a lot more conscious of that. I wouldn't say that you're holding a grudge. I wouldn't say that you're holding on to past hurts. I would say more, I wouldn't even call it cautious. I would say just more conscious, because you saw something in yourself that you hadn't seen in a long time. The way this stands out to me is it's the Empress stands alone. She is whole in herself. She has a divine counterpart, the Emperor, but she is, in her own right, powerful, independent. She's a whole person. And then we have the Lovers separate from her. And this feels a lot like you're starting to learn to externalize love. I'm not saying that you're putting a wall up to protect yourself from it or that you're guarded. It doesn't feel like that at all. It's starting to feel sovereign. It's starting to feel a lot like you're holding strong in who you are as an individual participating in a relationship rather than someone who is defined by it. That's what this feels like. Interesting. I found this one fascinating. I think you're, I will say this, you have your head screwed on straight, because that is not an easy balance to have between being your own person, being an individual, and holding strong in that without being rigid in a relationship or without putting your walls up or being guarded because this seems like it's someone that really hurt you and then came back. But it seems like you're handling this with a great level of maturity. That was almost educational for me. Wow. Good. All right. Now, Gemini, work. Death, Four Swords. Why do they keep flinging across the room today? All right. Father of Wands, the Magician, Three of Swords, Three of Pentacles, the Emperor, the Sun, Son of Swords. Where do you belong? You belong over here. And the Ace of Wands. And I think you go over here. No. I heard no. You go over here. Okay. Now this feels right. This feels like as you've gone through your transformations, the way that you see the work that you do has changed. It feels like, it almost feels like a loss of fulfillment. It doesn't feed your soul the way it used to. It doesn't, it's missing something. That's what I heard. It's missing something. Because I don't get the feeling that it's that you want to quit. I get the feeling that it's missing something. The way that the Three of Swords in this deck is drawn, I'm paying attention to this red rope right now and the way that it's bleeding. This feels like you almost feel bound to it, like you can't leave, but it's missing something. And you're contemplating why you feel the way that you do. Maybe you've been feeling it for a long time. But Son of Swords, Father of Wands is back from the love reading. And then we have the Emperor to meet your Empress from the love reading. Ace of Wands, Three of Pentacles. Feels like it stems off of the Emperor. And then we have the Magician and the Sun. And this, for some reason, the Magician, usually I just see him as his own. I mean, he's a major, right? He's a major arcana. So, like, I usually see him as his own thing, but he feels like a combination of the Emperor and the Empress. Possibly also because all four kings rolled into one is the Emperor, all four queens rolled into one is the Empress, and the Magician has all four suites in his card. And it feels like a culmination of both of you somehow. And then we have the Sun for positive outcomes. I think it was Gemini's reading that I was doing where I said something about untapped potential. Or was that Virgo? Maybe it was Virgo. I don't know. But I remember saying something about untapped potential for someone that's trying to start a business or do something with a business, but there's a resource that they hadn't tapped into yet. And I feel like this is a thing here. I feel like this is a thing here. There's a certain amount of good that someone can do for what you do that you haven't tapped into yet, possibly because what you do is so sacred to you that there was a boundary there. But this is feeling a lot like let them. This is feeling a lot like integration being encouraged. It looks like whatever your funk is, there is potential for a good outcome. But there is a resource that you need to tap into. That one was short and sweet. I felt like that one was very simple, pretty straightforward. Now let's get into the shadow work where it gets a little messier. Death is back. Who are you? Ooh, Nine of Swords. Okay. Eight of Pentacles. Two of Wands. You go over here. Eight of Pentacles. I also just got a really weird message when I put the Two of Wands there. Four of Pentacles. Mother of Pentacles back again. Son of Pentacles. Judgment, outlier. Son of Pentacles over here. Hold on. More like that. Father of Swords. You. Four Cups. You feel like you belong. Over here. Five of Wands. Outlier. Okay. All right. This feels like your the changes that you went through. I try to separate out the love work and shadow work readings, but yours feel very deeply tied to one another. It feels like the transformation that you went through in the love reading, the healing that you had to go through, the disruption in your life. It feels like it did affect your work. And it feels like it activated something in your shadow, but it was a painfully transformative experience. It showed you a lot about yourself. And now you're at a crossroads. Two of Wands. And you can go one of two ways. Four of Pentacles, Son of Pentacles, Four of Cups. This feels like maintaining a status quo. This feels like holding on to what you have for dear life. This feels like continuing in silence. Four of Cups, letting opportunity pass. And I don't feel like this is about an offer or anything like that. This is about the opportunity for a deeper level of growth. The Eight of Pentacles being here, it feels like the transformation that you went through, the things that you discovered about yourself, can be woven into your craft. I say that because the Eight of Pentacles usually to me is about, mastering something, practicing something. I also call it my, like, kind of sit and look pretty card. It's the you've already woven the web, now you just wait card. But in this case, it feels like integration. Integration with shadow. There's something that you found in the dark when you were there, and you can either ignore it or you can integrate it. Mother of Pentacles, Father of Swords. He to me is the card of wisdom. And she to me is the card of returning home to where your deepest wounds may be. She's been popping up a lot in the readings lately. But what's striking me right now is the way that she is sitting or laying there, alert, head up, while there is a baby sleeping, resting on her. And the baby to me right now represents your wounds. It represents your inner child. It represents something that you haven't tapped into for a long time. You try not to go there. But she embodies a version of yourself that is strong enough to keep those parts of you safe. And not in a don't touch this, no one touch this, no one look at this kind of way. She's guarded but soft. She's alert, not withdrawn, not in hiding. She's looking right at you softly with what makes her vulnerable right there. And then we have the Five of Wands and Judgment. Five of Wands is about conflict. You're fighting between the urge to be more guarded, be hardened, and the wisdom that you already have that knows that that's not the right way to go. That's what this feels like. I don't think I need to say more. I don't feel like I need to say more. You know which way is the right way to go. Yeah, I don't need to say any more. Gemini, it looks like you're doing well despite the circumstances, and I'm glad to see it. I hope that something that I said here today resonated or helped you in some way, because that is what I am here to do, is to provide some guidance or some reassurance on everyone's paths to growth. So if you liked what you saw here today, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe. What's the other thing? I'm missing a thing. Share. And also hit the notification button so that you get notified every time I do a reading. And I will see you in the next one.